Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this mac cheese that I kind of Nigerialized. It was really tough for me to make it because I don't really eat the delicacies from here. I really eat a lot of food from back home. But today I'm going to take you through how I made this mac cheese. It was really amazing, it was nice, but I don't think it's something I would really like to make like a lot of time consecutively. But it's something I would definitely try again some other time. We'll probably tweak the recipe a little bit. And the amazing thing about mac cheese is you can always tweak the recipe. There is no one size fits all, but you have to know the basic ingredients, which is macaroni and cheese, and that's what makes it mac cheese. Alright then, so let's go into the video. So I've got some spring onions. I've already washed that and cut off the root. So I'm just going to slice it up, dice it. There's no one size fits all. And I use you could use ordinary onions, but I use spring onions because I thought it could add a bit of aesthetics and flavor and color and life to the food. Also had my bell pepper. This is the yellow one. I added the yellow and the green one. I'm just slicing it off into thread shapes, nothing serious. I didn't want to dice it because I didn't want it to get missing inside the food. I wanted it to be obvious, and since macaroni are long stripes, so I wanted the pepper to be the same stripe with the with the macaroni. So I also have the green one. I did the green one just the same thing. I removed the seed, sliced it into thread stuffs, and yeah, that was it. So one of the main reasons why I said I've Nigerialized this recipe was because of the scotch bonnet I added. The scotch bonnet here is really hot, so I only added two, but that was enough to make it really hot. So after dicing the green pepper, I also diced my scotch bonnet. I'm afraid I didn't record that, but I diced it, and then this is everything: my pepper, my onions, all ready to go down for the show. So one of the main ingredients, which is the cheese, I cut the cheese off and then I started grating it. One thing I realized is I think it is better to grate the cheese on the bigger hole and not the smaller hole, which I eventually did change. It makes it easier for the cheese to dissolve when you are eventually putting it in the milk. So it's better to use the bigger hole than the smaller hole when you are trying to grate your cheese for the food. Okay, so after grating the cheese, I moved on to cooking my macaroni. I used fusilli. I didn't use actual macaroni because fusilli is a twist, and then it allows it takes more of the fluid. So this is me throwing my fusilli in water. Just added this into water, and then I added salt until my ancestors said it is enough, my child. When it has boiled, I removed it from fire and then I sieved it. Hey, so we moved on to making the sauce. I put the pot on fire, added about 2 scoops of spread. You could use cooking butter, you could use spread. Oh, I don't know, wasn't allowing me to record, but then when you allow the butter to kind of melt on fire, then you add your spring onions into it, or whatever kind of onions you're using. Add your spring onions into it. Allow the onions and the butter to, allow the butter to saute the onions. And then at this juncture, I added pinch of salt, cubes of Maggi, black ground pepper, and I added some garlic. Definitely, I added some garlic. I didn't add ginger, so I just allowed that to fry together, and yeah, that was it. Just stirred for a while and stir for a while, then add some powder. I added some self-rising powder, 2 spoons. I would advise you not to add too much powder because I regretted it in the end. because eventually it was thickening up and I had to add like a lot of milk. So don't add too much of flour. Just add about two spoons is enough for you. I tell you, don't add more than the 2 spoons. So after then, I added some milk. I used more than this amount of milk. I added more eventually. You need a lot of milk, about 750 mils. Semi-skimmed milk is alright. You could use whole milk. Anyone they're all usable. So yeah, this is me adding more milk. Then stir together. Allow it to boil. Just it will thicken up. It will thicken up as time goes by. Well, if you are not waiting for this to boil like shoko boiling. So after it's thickened up, it's boiled, I removed it from fire and then I started adding the cheese. It is very important not to cook the cheese. Don't add the cheese while the sauce is on fire. So you have to remove it from fire and duck in the cheese and then allow that to melt. Ensure you don't have any lumps or anything, and just yeah. So I mixed the cheese together, and when I finished dissolving everything, I ensured I didn't have lump. But it was difficult for me to know if I had lump or not, especially with the spring onions. So I didn't know if it was the cheese or the spring onions that was forming the lump. But just stir as much as possible. Try and have a smooth paste. Then I started dunking the macaroni that I have drained. So I have to force everything into it because I ordinarily don't eat macaroni. So I dunked in the macaroni and then I had to give everything a quick stir. After that, I added some things. I added shrimps into this. And no, I didn't add fish. I only added shrimps, large shrimps and small shrimps. I got the shrimps from Aldi. So I added that. And on the other side, my assistant was she was greasing the baking sheet for me. So I greased the baking sheet ready for all of this to go into. So I added some of the green pepper and yellow pepper and the shrimps I've mentioned earlier, and then my rodo, of course. At this juncture, I added the rodo so that it can cook together eventually. So yeah, the pan is being greased. Just give everything a quick mix just to make sure everything is like well distributed and nothing is concentrated somewhere. I turned on my oven to about 200 degrees Celsius, and then I made sure the setting was up and down heating. So I transferred it into the pan that I had already greased. It is a non-stick pan anyway. And then transferred everything into it. It's an 8-inch pan. I think 8 or 9, I'm not sure. And then I added some carrots that I only sliced. I didn't dice them, I only sliced them. I added some carrots, and then I added the pepper on top for aesthetic purpose. Eventually the pepper got burnt a little bit because I was waiting for the top to be brown. I think it's better to just mix the whole pepper with it. Makes more sense, but the brownness was still sensible. So after adding everything, it looked something like this, and then I allowed it to sit in the oven for about 30 minutes, and this was the end result after 30 minutes. Some brownish parts, and the pepper was obviously burnt. But I tell you, the brownish part was even more delicious. The crispy part was really, really delicious. So I brought this out, and then it was a really nice meal. I think it would have gone down better if I had something like goat meat that stayed in the stew for like 3 days, the very soft, succulent one. But it's something I'll definitely want to try again some other time, maybe with some other add-ons like fish or something. This is definitely what you try. Give it a try. If you want it to be to be thinner than this, just increase the milk, reduce the cheese. If you want it to be thicker than this, increase the cheese, reduce the milk, something like that. Just play around it. And thank you for watching. If you have watched to this stage, you really a star, you're a G. I appreciate you. I hope you try this recipe, and if you do try it, please comment below. If there's any new food you also tried that has been amazing for you, share the name and let's have a good time. I hope to see you in my other videos very soon. Thank you.
The only one that I need, you're the one that I need, yeah. I be the cry on the Monday.